video editing because of us, through us. I don't know if because of us, but yeah, I mean, because of the support we gave him, he was able to make some big things happen, and he's still doing big things right now. So.
And you mentioned Youthline Live. You are the coordinator for Youthline Live, and what is Youthline Live?
So Youthline Live is a TV show that we run on Access, first and third Thursdays of every month. It's a live call-in talk show. We basically try to just tackle issues that are relevant to youth in the Bay Area. Anything from video games to drug abuse to pregnancy to even the election. You know, just really try to get that youth voice out there in ways that you probably couldn't get it out otherwise.
Excellent. We have another call. I'm kind of apprehensive to take it. No? Same, but no. Okay, never mind. So the Youthline Live, my daughter is actually a part of Youthline Live, Monica Flores, yes. And she is so proud of her job. She loves her job. She loves that show.
She's good.
She's don't tell her that, she'll get a big head. But I just the whole idea of having kids speaking to kids and having a peer group talk about some of these problems. I was amazed at some of the stuff that you guys discuss in teen pregnancy and the openness of the people that actually call in live to your show and share stories that are really tough stories to hear, but ones that are out there. Now, if these kids didn't work for you, where would they be, do you think?
It's hard to tell. I mean, like, I've been lucky. I have a really good crew. I have a really good crew of youth on my team. But, I mean, some of them are already employed with Shock, and we just kind of transferred them over to the TV show. So those probably, are already fine. But it's just, a lot of them just didn't have any creative outlets. They were kind of stuck doing the same old things, kind of in a routine, and this was able to break them out of it, get them into something where, hey, I could round up a group of people and make things happen. I could put a TV show on air twice a month, and I think that's huge.
And how long has Youthline Live on the show here at Access been running?
It's we're rounding off our third year right now, so it's been pretty successful. Yeah, I mean, we've come from a point where like we had to actually pretend to have callers. We'd have someone run out of the room and call in and just pretend they were someone that we didn't know.
You can have this caller anytime you want.
There you go, right?
He keeps calling back. So you started off and there were a few, but now people are watching and they're phoning in and you're getting legit calls.
Definitely, yes.
From people who really need help. Now, when they call in with the problem, are you giving them to a group of kids that to counsel them, or do you then refer them to a service that might be helpful?
We try to always give a service that's helpful. It depends on what they're calling in for. Sometimes they just want to call in and talk, about the topic. Like, I mean, when you have an episode like video games, there's not really a service you can send them to. But I mean, yeah, when you have like the more serious topics like pregnancy or whatnot, you refer them to a clinic or whatnot, and just let them know that there are things out there that they might not have known about.
And there are now Youthline, the call-in line. Is that something also where you can call in, not on television with the show, but there is a call-in line as well?
There is. Youthline is our longest running program. Chalk started with Youthline. And every young person that's hired for that program, along with all our other programs, is trained in first stage crisis intervention. So they're able to take calls on rape, incest, any kind of suicide, child abuse, homelessness. Yeah.
Here's a question. I don't even know what to say to somebody who's suffered through those things. Are there any key things that people should know or that you can share that somebody might do as a first stage intervention? Or if somebody does call you and tell you that they've been a victim of rape or something, or incest or something, I don't even know what I would do. Is there some basic thing that you teach them that people might be able to benefit from?
Definitely. I think one of the key things is to ask a lot of questions. And also to validate the person, that it's not their fault. I'm going to let you take over since you're the Youthline specialist.
I think it's just really important to listen to people. Don't rush into giving a solution. You don't know the situation. I mean, at least for a good 15 minutes of talking. I mean, usually even more. I mean, there's been calls that have lasted 3-4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. I mean, and sometimes you get like a suicide call that lasts for like 10 minutes. And, they get to it and they're fine. It all depends, but you really have to listen to them. You never want to rush in. One of our main things is we don't give advice. We never tell them what to do. We say, hey, maybe you could try this out, but never like, this is what you need to do. Hurry up and do it, because nobody wants to hear that. They're not calling us so we can tell them what to do. They want someone to be heard. They want to be heard.
So that was one thing that really surprised me. I had suicide prevention hotline here, and Eve Meyer, wonderful woman with that with that organization, had said the number one wrong thing that you do if somebody's suicidal is say, "Oh no, you can't do that. You have everything to live for. What are you crazy? Don't do." The thing you're supposed to do is listen, like you were saying, and ask them, "Do you have a plan? Were you thinking of doing it at a certain point? Did you have a weapon that and make it more real and open an environment that they can talk about things."
Right.
Exactly.
And I think too many people, if they say, certain things happen, would jump on, no, you can't,
Right. You want to lift the taboo and give them an open and safe space to speak about that. Because most people, like you said, wouldn't know what to do, and, they would probably say the wrong thing. So our phone line is open, and our young people are trained, and they're always retrained so that they're fresh. And they're really good at what they do.
That's amazing that you can train young people to really understand and open up and be responsible for such a very, dramatic thing when somebody calls in like that, to be able to calm them down and listen and help them find services that must make the kids feel really empowered.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the key things in the way that we do youth employment is we actually, we give them this huge responsibility, and we say, we know you can do it. If we give you the tools and the support, you can do anything. And once you've kind of instilled that in them, they really believe it, and they really go ahead and just take it to the next level. They come up with their own ideas. They give suggestions. They're really part of the development of all of the programs. So they actually have a real voice in where we go.
And from working with youth so closely, do you have advice to parents of teenage kids or something on how to maintain open communication with your children? Because so many people at a certain age, like, my kids are driving me crazy. I mean, I'm lucky because I have kids that are really open and we have a great communication with them. But for people who may not have that open communication, is there anything that parents can do to really help open up communication with their teenagers?
I hear, and this is the number one I hear from young people when I have my one-on-one discussions with them about what's going on in their life. They say, I hate it when my mom or my dad says, all you have to worry about is school, and that's it. And it's amazing because they have so many things to worry about. Relationships in their life are beginning to form, whether it's a friendship or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. They're starting to really try to develop autonomy. They want to be their own person. They're trying to figure out who that person is. And that is a lot to take on when hormones are happening and they don't know exactly what's going on in their bodies. I think at that point in their life, they're really just trying to figure out who they are, and they need someone to listen to them and to acknowledge that they do have a life separate from school and anything else. They are a complete human being at that point.
And to listen without judging or jumping in, because it's so hard. It's so hard when you're a parent. It's like, oh, I've been through that. I've made that mistake. I'm going to keep you from making it. Sometimes they have to make that mistake, and in order to learn firsthand,
right?
And it's hard as a parent. And so that must be amazing to have parents have children come home and change through working with you, not only having a job, which is amazing now. And let's talk a little bit about that, youth employment. How difficult is that in the city when their parents are looking for jobs too?
Right.
So how has the economy, what's happening with the economy, been affecting your organization as well as the kids getting jobs?
Well, as any nonprofit in San Francisco at this point is being hit with budget cuts. We've been hit with at least $15,000 in budget cuts. And it makes it difficult because most of our money goes into the youth employment piece. The young people, we need them to be there to man the phone line and to do outreach and to do the grant making. And so if they're not there because they can't get any hours to work because we've been cut, then the youth development piece of it also, gets affected and impacted because they're not there all the time. So youth employment definitely is something that I think in San Francisco has also, we've been very lucky in that the city focuses on that. But at this point in time, we definitely need more resources.
Is there now, do you take volunteers Is there any way, what are you looking for? Why don't you tell our audience what it is that could help you?